I was asked to be, to have a brief, insightful, and entertaining presentation. I hope that you don't have to settle for short. So I'm going to make an effort to make it worth your while. And so a couple of very, very interesting conversations, presentations that we've gone through. Well, the topic that I want to talk to you about is wellness, okay? It's not about health. We had a couple of presentations that told us about how important wellness, well-rounded wellness is. It's, creating an environment in which you promote health, it's good. But what's better is a holistic wellness program. And there's many ways for making that happen, right? But I really believe that there's one way to make your efforts sustainable, okay? What you want is sustainable engagement and promote an environment that is healthy from all aspects, well-rounded, okay? So, as mentioned, GSM, Global Services Manila, is the largest shared services organization for Baker McKenzie, the premier law firm in the world. We have a presence in 77 countries, 47 lawyers, and we are the biggest services center for Baker McKenzie. We have 900 people here, and we cover all kinds of different areas for operations, including billing and finance, technology, information security, business development, marketing, communications, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And like all organizations, we need a guiding post. We need to have a business objective. And so when we started this stage in the life of Baker McKenzie, GSM, we said that our goal was to be high-value business partners. Okay? We wanted to move on from a task-based orientation to a process-based orientation. We wanted Filipinos to have a seat at the table in the decision-making process. We sit in a trove of information that allows us to actually have an active participation in the decision-making and setting the direction of the strategy of the firm. And that's what we're starting to do. But in order to do that, we needed to come up with a strategy. How are we going to become a high-value business partner? And our 4 pillars are people, quality, value, and culture, okay? Anybody that you talk to in Global Services Manila will tell you that the center, the pillar of that strategy is people. We talk about people all the time, okay? And so I'll give a little bit of an insight from a wellness perspective of how we have been focusing on people. You must be familiar with, some of you might be familiar with Simon Sinek. Do you know, give me a hand, you know Simon Sinek? You've heard about him? So you're probably familiar with this picture, right? And, most organizations work inwards in this circle. First is the what. What do you do, right? You provide support, you develop software, you do voice customer service, you build iPhones, right? And then you move into the how, right? The what is what you sell. The how is what is your value proposition. And that may be, I provide an exceptional product, or I provide cheap service, or exceptional customer service, right? And so that starts to differentiate you from your customers. And then the organizations move into the why. Why are we into this? And most of them will answer you, other than the nonprofit, will tell you, well, because we want to make a profit, right? Any business class you go to, they'll tell you, we are here to maximize shareholder value, right? I'm sorry, but I think that's just wrong. And that is just my personal perspective, okay? I believe organizations, truly successful, meaningful players in the complex ecosystem that is our community, start with the why. Why are we here, right? The what tells what we do, the how is how we do it, the why is the glue that holds the what's and the how's together. And that give true meaning and an identity to your organization that will create commitment, engagement, and loyalty. Okay? So we start with why. And so our why is this. This is why. This is why we exist, right? Organizations are members of a complex ecosystem. And if your goal is not to help bring out those smiles, If you're not helping, make people happy, then you're getting in the way of doing it, of those who are really doing it. Okay? So when your goal becomes, is beyond financial, you help people understand that there's a lot more value than just generating profits, right? The generation of profits is going to be a consequence of your engagement, your commitment, and a solid business strategy, of course. That's why you need that business guiding post that I talked about a little bit earlier today, right? And then after you have figured out your why, then you can start moving to the how, okay? So personal story, when I finished school, when I completed my engineering degree, my goal was a similar goal that a lot of people have when they finish college. To be successful, to progress, to climb the corporate ladder, to make money, to be rich at some point. And that's great, but it really didn't make me feel complete. At some point I had the opportunity, I was lucky enough that I could interact with truly amazing leaders. And they helped me realize that there's a lot more beyond making a profit. So during the first few years, I climbed up the ladder, I stepped on some toes. I am sure that I didn't make some folks particularly happy. And then there was a little bit of a transformation in myself. And so that's when the focus became people development. That's the sustainable engagement mechanism to really have a good, successful, viable organization. Now we move into the how. How do we do it? We call it people-centric leadership, okay? And people-centric leadership, people are at the core, right? You enable them, you empower them. It's all about respect and giving the people the ability to make decisions, right? We empower them, and that's a representation of the respect that you give them. You give them better context, you don't limit them to execution of tasks, but you help them understand the dependencies, the end-to-end processes, and so it helps us create a positive organization, right? It adds value to the business relationship. It helps develop those partnerships, those relationships that Dr. Nino just talked about, that creates a network of people who care about themselves and each other, and adds value. It creates a self-sustainable growth in a competitive environment. And also, it creates a responsible member of the community. At the core of it all is we genuinely care for our people. People are at the center of our strategy, and once you understand, once they feel valued, once they feel that they are at the center and not a mechanism to get to profit, you're going to be able to achieve true engagement, right? We lead by example. We have gone through a transformation of our leadership programs. We have leadership programs that address from the top, executive, high-level management, middle management, and even staff. We help them develop leadership skills that will help a transformation process to turn them also into people-centric leaders. And you have to be honest, it's not about creating a leadership program or a health program with the purpose of maximizing profits, because people read right through it, right? In the past, organizations were like black boxes. You have people, you have resources, you have processes, and you mix everything in, and out comes an iPhone or a service or a product. Organizations really are transparent, right? More than any other time, it is hugely important that we are true and honest about what our purpose is. Now, it's always been important, but now with social media, with all the exposure opportunities, everything comes out. And so now if you're not socially responsible, if you're not environmentally responsible, if you don't treat your people fairly and with respect, people will get to know. You're not going to be able to attract the type of talent that you will want to retain in order to be successful. So that's a how. And as it was mentioned earlier, it starts at the top, right? We have, like all Baker McKenzie programs, this program called Be Well starts with a B. And it's about having a set of tools and best practices that helps each one of our offices develop their own location-specific, jurisdiction-specific set of activities that will promote holistic wellness. And after addressing the how, now it is the what. In order to have this complete program and to address wellness from a holistic standpoint, we wanted to categorize our activities around body, 4 different dimensions to make sure that it was really holistic. So we talked about body, mind, heart, and soul. So what, from a physical health standpoint, have a great health insurance and providers. We have additional riders for dreaded diseases. We have extended health benefits to extended members of families, and we've also extended health benefits to members of the LGBT community. What health events? So we have annual examinations, we have support for immunization programs, we have eye checkup, we have bone and postural analysis. We invested on the best chairs that we could find. We are supporting our people who want to, have a dual setup to be able to stand and work sitting when they can. So we have the top of the line Herman Miller chairs that, for which we got into a little bit of a pickle, but, it was definitely a worthy investment, right? Then another what? Work-life harmony. We promote and constantly push for the creation of interest groups. So we have a very successful football team who's won several tournaments. We have a basketball league. We have a runners club. We have a mountaineering club. We have arts group. We have a choir. And all of those groups get support from the organization in order to promote that holistic wellness. And the work environment is also important. It's one of those things that we actually can control as well in order to promote wellness and mental health. We have a honeycomb workstation design that gives people a little bit of privacy, but also maximizes the ability for collaboration by just turning around. We have pantries in each one of the floors in our locations. We have lactation room, a clinic that is staffed 24/5. We have, when people are tired, we have nap rooms, we have shower rooms, comfort rooms that are unisex for those folks that don't feel comfortable going to the male or the female restroom. Bicycle parking space. We have flexible work hours. People come to work when they find it most convenient. Traffic in Metro Manila hasn't gotten any better over the last few years, and by having some token activities that allows people to come and go when it's best for them, provided that they meet expected levels of productivity, their results have just been amazing. Psychological wellness, we provide a coaching program that helps people with all aspects in their lives. Health and wellness support, counseling when they are facing financial or family issues, financial literacy, they need support. They want to set up a fund to help support their kids go to college, or to start a fund for improving their conditions for when they want to retire. So, yes, it is an investment. Yes, it is part of the cost, but it has given a peace of mind to people that have maximized productivity, customer service, and a lot of the business metrics. Financial wellness, financial literacy talks, consultations, and consultations on how to make investments. From the heart part, diversity and inclusion, we have a very strong LGBT community. We're pioneers in that area. We are active members of the LGBT activities in both IBPOP and GICC and other organizations. We treat our people with respect, and our environment is not one in which we are neutral. Okay? we have a positive stance toward the acceptance of all of our members, regardless of religion, sexual orientation, age, or anything else. What soul, community? We deeply value the importance, our role in the community. People want to have a deeper and bigger meaning in life than just the engagement and productivity within the firm. They want to be part of the community. We have a very successful CSR program that we've invested in and has been incredibly helpful in that holistic, mental health. We have yoga class, also programs as well, and facilitate some meditation activities as well for the soul. There is a firm program called Be Agile. Again, B for Baker. We start all of our programs with B. We can't do a lot of telecommuting because we have certain regulatory restrictions, but what we can, we've taken advantage of that. Alternative work schedule, when we work, what is our preferred shift? Do we start in the morning? Do we have to start in the evening? Every opportunity that we had to eliminate night shift, we've done. Okay? There was a time in which almost 20% of our population were night shifts. We've eliminated that. We've done some analysis and negotiated with stakeholders such that we can work on more regular hours, right? By shifting some of the work over to our service center elsewhere in the world, it also has allowed us to retain the highest quality people, right? And so that's important. Part-time work. We have working mothers. They want to work. They want to be productive. They want to be a meaningful part of the economy. They also want to take care of their family. So we also have part-time, people working part-time. And it's important, right? Whether we work, PTO extended leaves, there are exceptional circumstances in which people will need to take time off. And so we have programs to support that. And so all of this sounds great. But it has to yield results, right? And so we have to measure. We regularly conduct consultations and coffee talk discussions with our people to see what's working, what's not, what are the immediate next needs. They are our guidance, our guiding principles, our counselors on what are the next steps when budgeting for the next cycle to see what is that we can improve. We have a review of our providers to make sure that our people are satisfied with what we have to offer. And this is not what we were looking for. I mean, yes, we knew that we had to be a viable, ongoing matter. But what we found is over time, our attrition went from 4 years ago from around 22%. We are scratching 11% today, right? And that was not an immediate goal. That was pretty significant. From a health standpoint, I mean, this is far from comprehensive, but colds, headaches, cough, the symptoms that people go to the clinic, I can tell you that every single concern is on the decline. And we are not like increasing consultation hours or anything like that. We're just making sure that there's holistic wellness. All of that has led to an increase in productivity of up to 35%. So over the last 4 years, our net hourly cost in the organization has remained stable, despite the fact that the compensation for our people has risen over 38%. Okay? So from our stakeholder standpoint, our costs are flat, productivity is up, customer satisfaction using the Net Promoter Score has never been better, and all of this is because people matter. You ought to care. And you have to embrace your people, you have to develop them, and it has to be truly glued by the whys. So I hope that these are some of the other metrics: quality of service, professionalism, work output, turnaround time, everything in the upswing. And this is everything above, consistently above a target of 85% and hitting 100% and 99% all the time. Today, Our Filipino colleagues are among the most esteemed and respected around the world. And I really look forward to, I really hope that you can take away something from this talk, and I'll be available for conversations during midday. Thank you.